Hello, my fellow concerned friends, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. I'm about to talk a lot about my personal life for a split second, so if that is not something that you want to hear, I will finally put a timestamp on this video, okay? Because everybody always complains about me not putting on timestamps. Now, for those of you who care, as you can see, I am in a new place, and that new place is our new house in our new state of North Carolina. We finally were able to make the move to North Carolina. And guys, this move has been so incredibly impactful for me for so many reasons. I talked a little bit about this on my TikTok. But I can understand how some people are like, you moved like one state over, like what is the big deal? Like North Carolina and Virginia are pretty similar as far as like region, I guess, geography, whatever. I don't know what I'm trying to say. So a question I've been getting asked a lot is why North Carolina? And my answer to that is no particular reason. No particular reason. We cared about what we wanted. And we just wanted to be able to go somewhere that had everything that we wanted and needed as a family. And in a place where we could feel comfortable enough and like secure enough in ourselves and happy enough with where we are to actually start saving for a house. You know what I mean? Because we've been renting since we got married because buying a house is insane. The rich people buy up all of the houses and then divvy them out to us for a lot of money, and it's crazy. But since being here and seeing this has everything that we want, that is our goal, is to save, and hopefully in a couple years, I mean, I would like to say sooner than that, but let's be realistic here. We'd love to buy a house here. So what's the difference between here and the area we were at in Virginia? So we didn't want to stay in Virginia in particular for a couple of reasons. Actually really just one reason, I guess I could say. So if you guys don't know, we are deconstructed Christians. We would consider ourselves atheists, agnostic atheists. Basically the way we like to kind of say it is we don't particularly align with any sort of spiritual belief or religion. But we also don't think that there's not maybe something, you know, to all of this manifestation, whatever you want to call it. So we kind of do our own thing, if you will, okay? But we are deconstructed Christians. My husband's dad is actually a pastor. Their church is the one we deconstructed from. And so beings that, you know, small town vibes, small mountain town vibes, we were bound to run into people from our old church constantly, and we did. And it just got to the point where it's like, I didn't even want to leave the house, because I didn't want to have to like have that awkward interaction with a stranger, like this person who, you know, I guess we used to be cool, but now you're looking at me like I'm literally the spawn of Satan. And in this interaction that we're having, you're making me feel like you're scared of me and that you're going to go home and pray for like 30 minutes afterwards. And I don't like feeling like that. Like I'm not a bad person just because I am not a Christian or I don't go to your church anymore. In the area we were in, there was just literally nothing to do. And so hiking is like fun, sure, but me hiking by myself with 3 toddlers does not sound fun. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's not fun. It gets the blood pumping for sure. That's for sure. Yeah. The adrenaline going, the blood pumping. Yes, that does happen. When I say that it is a fun experience, a fun, relaxing time, I cannot say that. It is not for me. I can tell you that much for sure. But that's like really your only option in the area that we were living in, or the library. The library is always a great place to go. So if you are living in an area where you're like, there is nothing for me to do and you do not have the means to be able to move somewhere more accommodating to what your family needs, go to the library. I'm so serious. The library has so much stuff. First of all, I love the library because that's where I first started therapy. And I know that that's probably like a lot of people are like, what? You went to the library for therapy? Yes, because I didn't have internet at my house. And data at the house we were living at, non-existent. I could not call anybody, text anybody. That did not happen. Okay. So I went to the library to have my video sessions with my therapist for a while. And yeah, suggest the library. What I'm trying to say is there was nothing that was easy for us to do. You know, maybe go to Walmart every day as if that's fun and as if I just want to spend money, or drive, you know, like over an hour round trip just to do something for like an hour. It just was not working. I genuinely was so unhappy. Like, I'm gonna be so vulnerable with you guys right now. Living there, like the house itself, like not bad. Our landlords, fantastic people. They were fantastic. However, the house itself for a family of 5 had 4 rooms. That was the whole house. It was a 4-room house. Okay. You walk in the front door, steep staircase, okay, closed off staircase, mind you, too, like wall kind of staircase. Immediately to the left is a room, immediately to the right is the room, and this is like the kitchen, bathrooms in the kitchen. Go up the stairs, immediately, there's like no landing or anything. It's just immediately door, bedroom. Like that was it. I literally felt like my head was going to explode because then I'm sitting there like, okay, like I need to get out of the house. But then it's like I was met with the whole, well, there's nothing to do. You can go window shop at the store or spend money you don't have. Like, it felt like my only option to feel any sort of like endorphin rush and do something with my kids was to overconsume. And I'm not for that. So thankfully we had the means. I've been saving up all of my income and poured it all out into this move. So we got to start our savings back up again, but that's fine because I understand that I am extremely privileged to be able to have done this. And I would not be here and have been able to do this without you guys, without your guys' support, without you guys showing up every single week and commenting and interacting and sharing my videos. Like, it genuinely has changed my life. So what's so great about here is that I feel like I'm living in the kind of space where it's like I can step out of my house and walk. I don't have to drive. I hate driving. Okay. I really hate driving. I don't have to drive. I can just walk. I can just step out of my house and take my dogs on a walk. Whereas where we were living before, we lived so far tucked up into the woods that you could say, well, you could have taken your dogs for a walk there too. Okay. So look at the same tree every day. No, I want to be where I want to be where the people are. That's all I wanted. And now I go on my walk and there's like, I swear I've seen the same dog. So like, I feel like this is like a normal, I don't know. I just love it. Okay. I feel like no matter where I'm at, there is a person. I'm never alone. I'm not isolated. I don't feel isolated. And there's things to do everywhere that don't necessarily involve shopping and over consuming. And so this is just going to give my kids a better life. I feel like too. Like, I feel like they have so many things that I would have loved to have now. And I'm not saying that as in like, oh, so they better be grateful. No, I'm just like mean like, even if they like don't like some of the stuff, they have options, right? So it's like, I'm just so thankful to be here. And I feel like in this house, I can breathe, I can stretch, everyone has space. And so far, it has literally been like waking up in a dream every single day. And that has been such a nice change from the entire rest of my life and what it's been. And I just want to give you guys a huge trigger warning before we really dive into today's topic. We are going to be talking about things like child exploitation, child sexual abuse material, distribution of such content, and things along the lines of child sexual abuse. So if you feel like this is a topic that you're not comfortable with hearing today, I totally understand. Please feel free to skip this video, as some of the things that we are going to be talking about can feel very intense and at times maybe pretty graphic depending on what you view as graphic or not graphic. So I just really wanted to take this time and give you guys that chance to decide now, do I really want to open this can of worms with Danielle today? Do I really want to be a fellow concerned friend today? Is this something that I can handle? And if the answer to that is no, that's totally fine. I was tagged in this person's video a lot, and unfortunately, I cannot show you guys that video because I did not save it. I know. And the video's gone. But what I can do is tell you essentially what she said. Essentially, she was scrolling through TikTok and stumbled across what appears to be a pedophile ring on TikTok distributing AI images as well as real pictures and videos of children, as well as distributing and sharing links to Discord servers and Telegram servers where the person opening the link and going to these servers can pay to obtain drives that contain multiple images and possibly videos, probably videos of child sexual abuse material. And rightfully so, this person was very jarred by this, shared this, and all of the comments were also very jarred by this, hence why I was tagged in it so often. And I just want to say, as a survivor, I am so thankful and happy to see the response that I did, because far too often, especially when survivors bring awareness to situations like this, we are often told that you're just projecting your trauma. Not everything that happened to you is happening out there in the real world. You're just projecting, blah, 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 and being over dramatic, yada, yada. So when I see other people who, which I don't know if this person's a survivor or not, I'm not sure, but when I see other people where that's not like tied to them already, talk about these things, and I see the reaction be taking it so seriously, it makes me feel like, okay, maybe people are finally understanding that not everything is rage bait, and a lot of times things are under the guise of rage bait to whistle blow to their fellow companions out there and try to find their people. But an unfortunate truth is this is not new. What I am about to show you guys is happening on TikTok and Telegram / Discord, all of those places right now, is not a new thing. Predators have been doing this since they have had access freely to the internet. Unfortunately so, it just keeps getting easier and easier and easier for them to do these things every single year. And as I'm going to show you today in today's video, it is seeming like that number is only exponentially increasing every year, with very little actually being done because there is very little protections for victims of child sexual abuse material being distributed, or child sexually explicit material being distributed. So I messaged this creator essentially asking for more information, you know, the whole 9 yards. And thankfully she did reply, and she sent me a link to Discord, where she has made an entire Discord server full of the evidence and a place where people can go and pile in more evidence, etc., etc. I do just want to say I'm not going to link the Discord server because I have my own opinions on people kind of creating their own, doing their own investigations in this way. And not because I think people have bad intentions, not because I think you guys have bad intentions of going to this server, seeing the evidence, etc., etc. I'm hesitant to share it because I'm worried that somebody might post something that they shouldn't, and then somebody innocent is going to have something be tied to something that they didn't want to be tied to. Do you know what I'm saying? That's why I say it's kind of, I don't really fully support the people who kind of like create an investigative team of just a bunch of people who are online looking at things, compiling things, because it absolutely could go south for those people really fast, if you know what I mean. It's not that I think that it's not smart. It's just not something that I want to give you easy access to protect you, because you never know what a random stranger is going to post, especially in the context of talking about and sharing evidence of child sexual abuse material being distributed. I am just looking out for you guys, but I will show you guys as much as I can and what I feel like is relevant to talking about this. I will put what I'm looking at up on the screen here so that you can see that I'm not just making this up. Okay, this is real stuff that is really on the internet that, I mean, you could probably find. Again, I don't suggest going out and looking for these things. Please stick around. I'm going to tell you what you can do. Okay. Remember, there is something we can do that protects us as well as the children being exploited, because the whole goal is we don't want to further exploit these children, right? We don't want to further exploit these children by sharing these links, by doing these things. We want to do what we can do to help solve the issue, not just pour gasoline on the fire that is the issue, if you know what I mean. And I also just want to say, I feel like I'm coming off very hateful and like kind of judgmental and being like, well, I would never do that. This is not my intentions at all. I hope that this creator who created this Discord is doing well mentally. And I just hope that nothing bad happens. It's just that I've seen and heard of things like that happening where people are trying to do the right thing and end up accidentally doing something illegal in the process, and or getting involved in something illegal in the process without possibly even realizing what they have done is illegal. So again, I'm not trying to be hateful, guys. I really am just trying to protect you guys. I really am. So something that you're going to see a lot with a lot of these accounts that I am showing you is a trend. It's a theme, right? Like this one, the username is Hot Pizza Files. So I know a lot of people to this day still think the whole cheese pizza thing is a conspiracy, but I'm again here to tell you it's not. It's literally not. It's just, it sounds so absurd that, you know, to the normal person who is not a victim, who is not like an advocate for victims, who is not in that world, who is not a predator themselves, hears that and is like, cheese pizza, okay, cheese pizza, okay, hot dog, okay, hot dog bun, okay, broccoli, what does that mean? Like, I can see how, I can see how the average person may be like, oh yeah, that's just a conspiracy and it's just people being funny and like making a joke about the conspiracy, but it's not. It is literally not. And the majority of people, of like the normal people, the average people who still believe that it's just like a hyperbole, is not the right word. I don't know what fancy word I'm trying to think of right now, guys. Okay. But to the people who think that it's just like a conspiracy, like it's not that serious, and you got people who really take it seriously, and those people are crazy. Those people are the crazy ones. You need to listen. It is not a conspiracy theory. It's not. It's so real. And I hope maybe this video will help show you, if you're one of those people who's like, okay, let's hear your cheese pizza theory. Please hear it. Okay. Cause I hope that I can show you that this is real. And I agree that the names and stuff, I have like a hair on my lip, are like, it's stupid. Okay. But look at who created the names and stuff. They are stupid. This one is Hot Pizza Files, and I'm going to blur it out, but there is a link to a Telegram, a QR code link to a Telegram. And again, people like the average scroller could look at that and be like, okay, I don't know what this is. Scroll. Now we have sewer. I'm going to say sewer shrimp pizza. And as we saw in the other one, again, I'm going to blur these things out. The last person's profile picture was a little girl. This profile picture is a little girl, but showcasing her feet. And once again, we have a Telegram link, as well as something that looks like proof of like somebody paying for something on this Telegram link. And it says, am I good? The other person says, sure. Like the person who like sent the link or whatever, I guess. And then they sent another link to a mega file. Okay. And then the next messages are the other person saying, oh yeah, you're definitely my new guy to hit up, and I will make sure I get you on Sunday. So it's like, again, okay. And if you look at the bio, I saved this for last, hoping that maybe you wouldn't notice. It has cheese pizza, and it says all teen CP, mom, rape, gay, GC, HD, and then the Telegram stuff. Okay. The cheese pizza is just a dog whistle, guys. Like it is just a dog whistle. And you need to get past that. You need to be able to accept that and get past that so that you can start seeing it. And you could look at this and be like, okay, well, it's probably just a scam because like, look at how they spelled everything. That's very particular. It's so that it can't be flagged. And then here is another account where once again, the profile picture is of a little girl, and we got cheese pizza. Once again, a Telegram link, and the bio says all kids videos available. And we keep going, and we have more Telegram links. And it just keeps going. Like, yes, I could go through all of these and show you guys every single account who is linked with these links and within this ring of people, this group of people, but we would be here for hours because it doesn't ever end. And then we would be going down this rabbit hole and that rabbit hole, because this rabbit hole takes us to the link to Telegram, and this one takes us to the link to Discord, and this one takes us to the link to Instagram, which takes us to the link over here. It feels impossible to stop. But there are things we can do to help stop it to do something about it. And I will tell you right now, I do not suggest sharing these links and like screenshots. Like I'm going to have everything blurred. But like I said, like in this Discord server, it's not blurred. So like the average person could technically open that link, and that's just don't do it. Okay. Just don't do it. Here's what we can do. When you come across accounts like these and accounts that are sharing links, accounts that are very obviously what they are, what you can do is report it. And I know everybody's probably like, and I think it's because we want to be heroes. And I don't think that that's a bad thing, especially when talking about saving children, right? Like we all want a more hands-on, I want to know the resolution. I want to know that this thing that I reported has been dealt with. And unfortunately, that's not how our justice system works. And I'm going to get more into that. I'm actually going to read you guys an article from the Department of Justice here in the United States. And it's going to be disheartening, but I want to remind you guys that what I'm about to tell you is something that we can do. Okay, so this is something that you can do to protect yourself and to protect these children that we are worried about when you come across these things online. I'm not even going to say if you do, because these disgusting pigs are just so emboldened, and there's just so little repercussions for the disgusting, vile, wretched things that they do, that they're just getting more bold, and they're just going to, the dog whistle is just going to get louder and louder, and they're just going to start throwing whistles in our faces at this point. Like, that's what they're kind of basically already doing. Like, it's crazy. What you can do is take all of the evidence that you have, and instead of sharing them with other people to just keep distributing said evidence, what you can do is put all of those in a file or something like that in one place and send those and report those to NCMEC, which is the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. And I will have links down below to all of these options to make it very easy for you guys to do that. I have already sent all of this evidence over to these places as well. And I beg you to do the same. Even though I've already done it, even though other people have already done it, please do the same, because we are talking about possibly thousands, possibly even millions of images and videos of children being sexually abused and abused in general that are being distributed right this very second. And this is something you can do about it. You can report to the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children in the link down below. And you can also report this directly to the FBI, which again, I will have the link down below. So if it's something like what we're talking about today, definitely expeditiously please report to the FBI, as I already have, because the FBI allegedly is like the ones who really dive into investigating the more organized crime, versus NCMEC is more focused on, I guess, like the individual child, I guess you could say, and identifying and trying to figure out where that child is. So please report these things both to the FBI and NCMEC when you see them, because that is something that we can do that does protect the children as well as protects yourself, because something that I don't think a lot of people know, and once again, I know that this is all, the intention is there, right? When people are putting together these like things, I mean, like, here's all of the evidence and blah, blah, blah. The intention is so pure and it is so good, but this isn't a route that we will talk about more later. But something I don't think a lot of people realize or think about is that when you are sharing those links, right, like the Telegram links, without censoring them and blurring them and giving access for even more people to see those links and access those links, and then say the wrong person with the wrong intentions does. And this is just an easy opportunity for them to go on this server and go look at the evidence. And then now they have a plethora of new links to go purchase from. Every single time a child's image of their abuse is viewed and distributed and shared, they are re-victimized over and over and over again. For those of us who have our abuse out there in the world, it is a constant fear that we might see it again, that we might see it for the first time, that someone we know might see it, or even just the constant wondering if anyone is seeing it at all. And so I know that the intention is so pure when people, do stuff like this, but I want us to remember that it's not like a true crime case, right? Where it's like, like a true crime game where it's like, let me put the puzzle pieces together. I have to be the one to solve the mystery first, because in solving the mystery, I think a lot of people are forgetting that in sharing these links, you are also contributing to the harm that these children have already gone through, even if you don't mean to. So please, when you see this content, take screenshots, okay? Take screenshots. And if it seems like it's local to you or somebody's in like imminent danger or something like that, call 911, right? Take all of that to 911. But if it's something like this, something where it's like sharing links or, something that doesn't seem like as like, and somebody's literally, going to be harmed within the next 30 minutes and they're like, live streaming it or something on TikTok, please report it to NCMEC and the FBI, because your report could be the one that tips it over the edge. Genuinely, please. I know you guys are probably so tired of me saying that, but that's something we can do. And I don't think that I talk about that enough, what we can do. I feel like all too often I'm talking about how disappointed I am in our justice system, which trust and believe I am. And I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. But I need us to realize, like, as bad as our system is, there are things that we can do. And if enough of us put emphasis on something, that could and eventually will tip the scales over into what we want and need done to keep ourselves and our children safe, and to get justice for those of us who have been victimized, because there is none for child sexual abuse material, as we will see in a few seconds now. This is an article from the Department of Justice discussing child sexual abuse material. And if my trigger warning wasn't good enough already, I'm going to give you another trigger warning, because again, I'm going to be sharing some personal stuff, and we are going to be talking about a lot of sensitive stuff in this section of the video. So just be ready. Okay. And if you need to click off here, sayonara. I totally understand, and I don't blame you at all. So first things first, why child sexual abuse material, and why not child pornography? That is simply because, I'm going to say this in my own words and then I'll read you what they say. And people don't like it when I say this. I think I'm at a point where I just don't care anymore. But child pornography implies a level of consent. Whether you think a child can consent or not, which I would hope the majority of people watching do not think that, right? Because they can't. Okay. Anyway, so whenever you say child pornography, it implies a level of consent, because that's what pornography is. Consenting adults doing pornographic acts for other people's viewing pleasure. All right. So that's low-key, like high-key offensive, because we did not ask for this to happen. We did not consent to these things being filmed and distributed. No, that's out. So what they have to say is the term child pornography is currently used in federal statutes, which that's going to change, okay? Federal statutes, and is defined as any visual depiction of sexually explicit conduct involving a person less than 18 years old. While this phrase still appears in federal law, child sexual abuse material is preferred as it better reflects the abuse that is depicted in the images and videos and the resulting trauma to the child. In fact, in 2016, an international working group comprising a collection of countries and international organizations working to combat child exploitation formally recognized child sexual abuse material as the preferred term because it is. So if you're a person who has been saying child pornography in regards to talking about this topic, I don't think you're a bad person. I just think maybe you didn't understand or know, and now you do. So please, from one CSA, CSAM survivor to you, maybe you're a fellow one, CSAM is absolutely preferred as, like they said, it better reflects what actually happened to us, which was not a consensual, fun act that we're like, yeah, no risks here. That's not what happened. Due to rapid technological changes, online child sex exploitation offenses are increasing in scale and complexity. Individuals who seek to sexually exploit children through CSAM can do so from anywhere in the world by using digital devices and the internet. Modern smartphones are the ideal child exploitation tool for offenders, as they can be used to photograph, record, or watch live child sexual abuse, store CSAM on the device, access CSAM stored remotely, connect with victims and other offenders, and distribute and receive CSAM through an endless variety of applications. The device itself and applications often cloak this criminal activity with encryption. And I want to talk about that a little bit because I caught my stepdad secretly filming me. And that is the only reason that I know for certain that he has distributed explicit content of me. I've shared this story before, so if you've heard it before and you're tired of hearing it, not sorry, because it's helping people. So I was in middle school and my friend was over at my house, and a little backstory, my bedroom was connected to a bathroom that was also connected to my brother's bathroom. So it was like a room and then a bathroom in between our room, but like we had no doors going into the bathroom. So you had to like walk out of your room to go into the bathroom sort of thing. And in the bathroom on the wall that's like connected to my walls, like you have your drywall, and your drywall on this piece of drywall is the bathroom. And this one is my room. There was like a towel rack, like a towel holder that had like fallen down because we were kids. And we tore that down so fast, okay? But when we tore it down, there was 4 little holes, right, where the screws were, or the nails, whatever. Okay, well, I'm not a construction worker like my husband. If you're watching this, I'm sorry. I know it's screws and anchors and all of that, but that's not the point of the story, babe, okay? So it comes down and there's the little tiny holes, okay? I'm sure you guys have all seen what a hole in drywall looks like when you pull a screw out, right? It's tiny, it's a little pinhole. And the screw doesn't go to the other side of the drywall. It like sits like right here, right? Like right here. It's not going like that, okay? So let's make that clear. Okay, so that's off. And I noticed like in the next couple of weeks that one of the holes just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then eventually it burrowed to the other side, to my wall. And now my wall has a hole in it. And so in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, it's probably just from the shower and like the wall's like melting away, or I don't know what I was thinking. Okay. I was a child. I was thinking like a child was what I was doing. All right. And so in my childlike brain, I'm like, okay, no big deal until dad can fix it. I will just shove toilet paper in the hole. No big deal. But guess what? Magically, toilet paper never stayed in the hole. Okay. And this thing was so obvious that if my lights were off in my bedroom and the bathroom light was on, I could see into the bathroom. And so then if I put my eye up to the hole, I could see into the bathroom. And I never did that inside the bathroom to my room because I'm not a creep, and I like was able to like evaluate that one time and didn't need to sit there and keep looking through this hole. I just wanted to keep covering it up. So here I am, okay, in middle school with my friend, fresh from Five Below when Five Below was new and cool, okay? And we got matching sets of yoga pants, not flared leggings, yoga pants with the fold down thing, like the fold down belt thing. Okay. I got mine in hot pink. She got hers in lime green, as well as our matching little black sports bras, because we had a mission we were on that night. We were going to learn the choreography to this song and this dance video on YouTube. That's what we were doing that night. And we had to be in our dance clothes. Duh, this was very serious stuff in middle school, okay? We waited till everybody was asleep so that we could not be disturbed and nobody would walk in on us doing this extremely embarrassing thing that only me and her would ever see the light of day, right? This was supposed to be between me and her learning this. Nobody else was going to see our bed dancing, or so I thought. Okay, so we waited for everybody to go to sleep. And we are dancing our little hearts out. I mean, I am out of breath. I can't dance. If I'm being honest, she couldn't either. Okay. We are both out of breath, but we did it. Okay. We were able to finally, it was so late at night, but we were able to finally do the entire routine, start to finish, both of us without messing up. Was it perfect? No, it wasn't, but we were able to hit everything that we needed to hit. Okay. Proud of ourselves. We had a blast, a truly good girls' night sleepover. Amazing, right? So I ask her, I say, are you thirsty? Cause I'm thirsty and I need some water. Okay. I'm going to go get a bottle of water. Like, do you want one? And she's like, yes, I want a bottle of water. So my room's really small. I'm already standing like by my door and I turn around, I open my door. And as soon as I open my door, my stepdad is coming out of our bathroom. And another piece of the story that I failed to mention is that my parents, my mom and my stepdad, had their own bathroom in their bedroom. And it's the middle of the night, okay? So I'm immediately like freaked out because I'm like, I'm getting in trouble. I'm getting in so much trouble for leaving my room to go get water in the middle of the night. Like this is the end of me. And that's what happened, right? He starts yelling at me, you're being so loud. And that's why I had to come out here to tell you guys to be quiet, to be louder, to be quieter. Everyone in this house is sleeping, blah, 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 blah. And so I am immediately like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. And I shut my door. And then I thought about it and I was thinking to myself, why was he coming out of our bathroom? Why was the light not on in the bathroom if he was going to the bathroom, right? Why was he in only his boxers? And why did he have his phone in his hand, like coming out of there? The holes. And it was that easy for him to film that content, and who knows what he has done with it to this day, who has seen it, where it is. And it was so easy for him to do that because of his phone. And think about that like in public, when these people are filming like in public and stuff, and how easy it is for them to be able to get away with it and just say, oh, I was just photographing the sunset at the park. I was just photographing this dragonfly at the water park, at the splash pad. That's all I was doing. It's that easy for them. And I think what a lot of people don't realize is that this kind of material does not have to be gruesome and violent and super explicit for it to be what they want and be something worth sharing, worth possibly going to jail for. Because predators, pedophiles, like kids, as they are. And now, yes, like we're going to talk about later, like, of course, there are some, it's a spectrum, right? It can go from something like what I experienced to some of the most horrible things that you can think of. But at the root of it all, they like the power they feel compared to a child. They like a child's innocence. They like children for being and acting like children. And that is why I harp all the time for parents to not post your kids online. It doesn't matter how cute they are. It doesn't matter how covered they are. It doesn't matter if it's their first ever bite of a lemon. I don't care. Don't post it online, because pedophiles like their expressions. They like their cute little shorts. They like their cute little Winnie the Pooh overalls. They like all of that. They like watching your kid try foods for the first time. And they like downloading those videos and saving those videos and editing those videos to turn into something that's more appealing for them. Like AI. Okay, I was tagged in so many videos this week alone of accounts that have like their entire account is just like an AI baby from top to bottom, like head to toe, an AI baby. But from like the clavicle down to the pubis, it's like the baby's dissected. So it's like the entire front's out. So you can see all of the organs and stuff. And sometimes the baby's petting a dog. Sometimes the baby's drinking milk. I need parents to ask themselves, where are they getting those images from to be able to have AI render a baby like that? They are getting the images from your accounts. Even just that picture of your toddler just standing, just an outfit check for your toddler just standing there. You want to show the world how cute their outfit is. That's awesome. Cute. I get it. But now these pedophiles have that picture of your toddler and are putting that into AI and saying, make this child nude. Make this child eating their first hot dog. Make the hot dog. I think you get where I'm going with that. Don't do it. It is literally not worth it, because as we're going to see later on, as we keep on discussing this, once that image is out there, there's no takey backies. It's out there. It's done. The damage has been done. And I'm backed up here because they go on to say, when these images and videos are posted and disseminated online, the victimization continues in perpetuity. Children often suffer a lifetime of re-victimization, knowing the documentation of their sexual abuse is on the internet, available for others to access forever. And I know it's not the exact same. But the same can be said for your toddler, where you just took a picture of her and her cute little outfit inspo, and now all of a sudden it's that picture of your kid, and you only have 30 followers. That's not even that big of a deal, but for some reason they have all leached onto that picture of your kid, and now that picture has gone viral and you see it on your For You page. But it's your toddler naked and dissected, and then you can only imagine what the real video saved on their phone is. And now it's them who has to live with the fact that their image is being circulated online forever. Something that they had no control over, and now anyone can do anything that they want to with their likeness, their image, ever since they were just a baby or a toddler. And as parents, we have the power to prevent that from happening. We have the option to just not post our kids. Like, it's one thing to go ahead, talk about being a parent, talk about it, get, guidance and, help and support from other parents, as long as you're not talking poorly on your child. Because I heavily judge parents who do that, or call your child names and stuff, but now I'm getting down a rabbit hole, a tangent. I can't. But you don't have to actually physically post what your child looks like, what they're wearing, their sleep schedule, their teacher's name, what grade they're in school, their shoe size. Increasingly, perpetrators are grooming minors to engage in sexually explicit conduct online. This is distinct but related to CSAM produced in person by offenders. Offenders engaged in either type of production have been known to take advantage of multiple vulnerabilities of a child, including a minor's fear of getting in trouble with their parents or guardians. Talk to your kids. Don't make them fear you when they mess up or something bad happens to them, please. Okay, that's a whole other topic though. Getting in trouble at school or with law enforcement. This can result in the minor being extorted or blackmailed to create additional CSAM or pay a ransom to prevent images being distributed to their peer networks. Offenders tell victims they will call the police, and the victims will get in trouble for the sexually explicit content they have already created and sent the offender. Even families who have become aware of the issue have been concerned the child will get in trouble with law enforcement and may not report the crime, preventing investigators from identifying and stopping the offender. So I know that I'm not alone here, but outside of what happened with my stepdad and that entire terrible, terrible situation with my biological family, I absolutely was groomed into creating CSAM and distributing it to grown men online. That is definitely something that I have experienced, and I know that I'm not alone in that. Unfortunately, a big person that comes to mind when I think about how serious these situations can be is Amanda Todd. And if you don't know anything about Amanda Todd and her story, especially if you are a minor, who's like, it's not a big deal if I do this, please look at Amanda Todd's story. It is devastating and it is heartbreaking, and it could happen to anyone. But I know for me specifically, I have this very specific memory, and I'm going to share it here because who knows? I know for a fact this person had other victims because he told me about them. And, you know, if we can bring some sort of justice to this issue together by me saying this, then, you know, that's something, right? We can help other kids. But there was this guy on Instagram. I want to say this was back in like 2012, I want to say. And he reached out to me on Instagram. So I was like 13. I was 12 or 13 at the time. And he reached out to me on Instagram basically being like, oh, you're so pretty. Like you could like model or something like that. Or like, you're so pretty. I could get you like a lot of followers. Right. And back in, 2012, 2013, Instagram was like the it girl. Okay. Like it was like the app to have. And it was like one of the only apps that we had where it's like, yeah, like we had Twitter and like Tumblr and all of that, but like Instagram was like the new thing. It's like get a lot of followers as fast as you can. That was Instagram, right? And so like we even had apps that you could like download. I don't know if they still make apps like this, but it was like hashtag apps where you could like download the hashtag app and then like scroll through and try to find like the category of hashtags that would like best match like your vibe or like your niche or whatever. And then you could just copy and paste the hashtags instead of having to actually come up with your own hashtags and stuff. Like it was a whole thing. And I took it very seriously because I was extremely neglected at home. Nobody ever paid attention to me at home. Nobody ever gave me genuine compliments at home. And I was being harmed at home. And so I clung to anything that made me feel like I was worth something. And so building my following on Instagram as a young middle schooler was a huge priority to me. And my parents didn't care what I did online, right? But I didn't post anything on my Instagram that was like bad. It was just like school stuff, right? Like just me at school being a middle schooler. Honestly, my entire Instagram from back then, if it was still around, probably extremely cringe, but extremely me, probably. Regardless, this guy messages me and is like, I can make you famous. And I did not have a lot of followers. I probably had like under 100, just people from my school and like family, right? Okay. So he's like, I can make you famous. I can give you all of the followers by shouting you out on my page. And I'm like, oh, for free? Because shout out pages were a thing back then too. Again, I don't know if they're really a thing now, but back then you could like pay a shout out page and the shout out pages have like tons of followers, or you would like have to do like certain requirements for the shout out page. Like the shout out page would be like, okay, like if you want to shout out on my page, then you have to go follow this person, this person, and this person, and like so many whatever. There's like different forms of payment that you could do to like be shouted out on these shout out pages. And so I never got shouted out on a shout out page ever because I didn't have the money to. What is PayPal? I don't even know what that is. Or like I would do all of the steps that they tell you to do, but then they just wouldn't shout me out, right? So I'm like, oh my gosh, somebody's coming to me to shout me out. But then I went on his profile and I'm like, you're not a shout out page though. You're literally not a shout out page. It was just like some like middle-aged man or like a late 20-year-old man who was like, I'll describe what I remember him looking like. He was a white man. I want to say he had blue eyes. It looked like he might have been like a redhead or like a darker blonde or something like that. And he had like really short, like a buzz cut sort of thing, but he also like was missing hair around the top of his head. I want to say he had like a bush, but again, it was like really blonde, like a bush. A beard. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I want to say he had a beard, but again, it was like really blonde. So I'm not sure for sure on that one. And he like wore glasses, but like the thing that stood out to me on his Instagram page was he like coffee. I guess he was like a barista maybe. I'm not really sure, but he had a lot of like nothing much of him. It was like all like his coffee and like trying coffee in different places. I don't know. I just remember it being like a lot of like coffee, like, you know, the cappuccinos with like the fancy swirls and stuff like that. But like, I remember it being coffee and being like, you don't even do shout outs. And he's like, no, I shout out on my other page. And he told me his other page. I went and I looked at it and yeah, he did shout outs, but they were all of nude girls. I'm not saying women for a reason. But the thing is he would edit the pictures to like put like a sticker, like, you know, like you can put stickers on your pictures and stuff on your phone. He would like put stickers over nipples and over the vulva. And so when I saw this, and he also completely blurred out the face. That was another big thing. Is he's like, when you take these pictures, you can't have your face in it at all. None of them had their face. So I felt like, okay, like, yeah, he has tons of followers. And it seems like all of these other people's pictures are doing really good. So I can just, it's not a big deal. Like I felt like, I'm already doing it, you know, I'm unprotected, very vulnerable, unprotected child of mush is what I was, right? So I'm like, okay, no big deal. So I did it and I sent them to him and he posted them and I started getting followers and a lot of messages and a lot of comments that I had to keep deleting because it was exactly what you think it is. And I can't remember when I stopped like participating in that, when I was like told them like I'm done. I do remember when I did say that I was done, I had to send like, I can't remember how many pictures, but it was like a certain amount of pictures to like lock in my out date. I don't know. But that being said, I did continue to send photos to my peers, to people that I groomed me online, you name it. And I will never forget when I was in the thick of trying to get my investigation taken seriously. I remembered that on my very, very, very old email address, like the very first email address I ever had, which I lost access to when I was put in foster care, so like around 14, I was like, I swear on my Google Photos drive, I lost access to that email when I was around 16, actually. Anyway, I was like, I know I have evidence of like text messages or something between me and my stepdad, me and my family. I have something. And I can use that for my case. But then when I tried to log into my old email, I couldn't. Okay, so this is a whole other rabbit hole of a long story. Long story short, my last foster home that I had ran away from, the crazy weirdo dad, because he was weird. I'm not even going to be nice. He was so weird and like obsessed with me. He was genuinely so weird. Not just me, any of the girls that were there, but considering I was the most long-term that they had while I was there, he was very obsessed with me, okay? And I wasn't allowed to do anything, have anything, nothing at all because they were that obsessed with me, okay? He logged into my childhood email and changed the password, and so I can't access that email anymore. So when I was in my 20s and I was trying to finally get this investigation, like trying to find all my evidence so that somebody could maybe take me seriously here, I'm like, oh yeah, that email. And so I'm thinking like, okay, how can I break into it? I realize that he still has access to it. And then I think to myself, wait a second, that's really scary and creepy because I don't know what pictures all that I have on that photo drive, right? Because that's like the first email that like Gmail that I have used. And I don't know what is stored in my photos. It could be evidence. It could be me as a minor, not very decent, maybe, you know, on purpose, or maybe I just freaking had a tick on my back and I needed to take a picture of it and see it. I don't know, but now this man has access to all of that, right? So I'm going somewhere with this, okay? So, I reach out to them, my old foster parents, and I'm like, give me my email back. And they're like, don't know what you're talking about, blocked. And I'm like, why are you guys just bold-faced lying to me? Like, I know. I'm not stupid. That's all. I'm not even going to get into all the reasons that I know that it's them, okay? You're just going to have to trust me or don't trust me with that one. I don't care. Either way, I decided to call the police department in the city that they live. And I called and I was like, hey, my former foster parents like have access to my email. They're not letting me have access to it. And I need access to that email for an investigation against my stepfather for sexually exploiting me, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And all of the things that fall under that. You know what I mean? And I was like, and I think it's weird and I need you guys to do something about it because they will not let me have it back. And also, I don't know like what images are in that that Gmail account. Like, I don't know if there's any explicit images of me. I don't know if there's any evidence of anything that happened to me. I don't know what's in there. I can't remember, but can you help? Oh, they helped. You know what he said? That he could arrest me. He basically was like, do you really want me to do that? Do you really want me to try to figure this out? Because then you could be the one getting in trouble for sending it. And I'm like, what part of evidence for this case are you not understanding? But that is the reality. So it's like, yeah, like I definitely can understand why parents and even kids are scared to report these things. Because what's the easier arrest here, right? Arrest the kid that's standing right here in front of you admitting to committing a crime, or having to do work and find the person who groomed the kid and then prove it's the person who groomed the kid and blah, blah. This is clearly the easier option. And I feel like that's what law enforcement does 9 times out of 10. Easier to threaten to arrest me than it is to actually go do your job and help me get a pedophile put away. And again, going back to the Amanda Todd situation, and some of these situations and circumstances and cases, some kids might feel so desperate and alone and like they don't have anywhere to go for actual help without fear of persecution themselves, that they genuinely feel like the easiest option is to just commit suicide, to take their own life. Because then they can't be blackmailed anymore. Then they can't go to prison for being groomed and for being victimized. Like, our justice system is so beyond backwards. It's genuinely terrifying. From 2013 to 2021, the number of cyber tip line reports received by NCMEC skyrocketed from 2013, 500,000 in 2013 to in 2021. So that was 4 years ago, from 500,000 to 30 million reports. We don't even have that many cops in this country. Like, what? It genuinely is like, what? I get so frustrated because it's like places like the Department of Justice are constantly saying things like, if you go in and you read this whole thing, which I'll have linked down below, of course, and you'll see at the end, it's like, oh, steps and plans and strategies to prevent all. Okay, then do it. I'm tired of seeing the plans. I'm tired of seeing this is what we plan to do in the future. Do something now. We have to do something. Like, no, we actually have to do something. Like, genuinely, we can't just keep sitting here saying, oh, well, these are our plans and how we're going to take steps to. It needs done now. Okay. Justice system, Department of Justice, it needs done now. You guys need to figure it out now. Don't ask me how. I am yet a survivor whose images are probably still being distributed. I don't know how, but I can tell you this. I want justice. I want it stopped. And it's your job to stop it, right? Not my job to tell you how. I just can't. Because CSAM is available through so many internet locations, offenders can access and demand CSAM repeatedly at any time they desire without the need to store files on their own devices. Once an image or video of CSAM is posted online, it can be immediately circulated around the globe, traded internationally, and is thus unable to be eradicated. And I get this a lot. A lot of people are like, okay, but like, if you like weren't completely aware of the videos or you don't even know exactly what content it is and blah, 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 then how is that actually traumatizing? How does that actually affect you? I don't know, dude. Like, imagine if it was you. Imagine if that happened to you. No, like actually, I'm so tired of people saying that. Put on your thinking cap. I do the thinking for yourself, dude. Have some empathy. Put yourself in someone else's shoes. Have some sympathy. Do something other than ask me dumb questions. CSAM lives forever, leaving victims to suffer a lifetime of consequences of the recording of their sexual abuse. Always wondering when and where the images and videos will appear and by whom their exploitation will be seen. Oh, I guess that kind of answers your question then, doesn't it? How does that even affect you? How is that even traumatizing if you don't know? I can't. And this article goes on to say that even people who are just browsers or lookers, just people who just are here perusing, right? Just seeing what exactly is going on here are actually a lot more dangerous than we think. It's not just a matter of, oh, I'm looking and not touching. It's a matter of, I looked for 0.2 seconds and now I'm downloading all of this illegal content. And I have to ask myself, like, where does that even come from? Because I get so tired of, like, I watch a lot of those, like, predator hunter videos, and I get so tired of seeing the predators being like, well, it just popped up. I just stumbled across it. I have never just stumbled across child sexual abuse material. Have never come even close. So, like, really, what are you actually typing in? I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it at all. And I think that it all stems from porn usage and porn addictions and young age. And I don't think that that's completely on, you know, like, that child for developing that addiction. But, like, we have to remember also, like, kids are going, like, on the dark web too and stuff. And they're going on things like Pornhub. And they're seeing things like barely 18, barely legal. And then they're going on, like, the dark web and even being exposed to child sexual abuse material. Like, this all stems from pornography and from the normalization of pornography and getting bored of that one thing. So you need something more exciting, something new, something that's going to get your heart racing. And it scares me. And now I'm not saying that every single sex worker is a bad person. I'm the kind of person where I always say I support sex workers. And the fact, you know, like, their grind, what they have to do to, you know, make a living. I do not support the industry at all. Hard no, hard no, hard no, hard no. You will never catch me talking bad about sex workers, though, with the exception of the ones, you know which ones I'm talking about, right? I don't need to go down that rabbit hole. The damage that it does, and honestly, is just an entire other video for another day talking about my opinions and feelings on that, because that, oh man, that's a long one. But yeah, what's probably happening is a lot of these people are getting bored from what they've seen on the surface web, right? They're getting bored. They've already watched all of the barely legal. They've already watched all of the taboo. They've already watched all of the hardcore and extreme. And now they are meandering their way to the dark web to find more extreme until they stumble upon this. And they're just looking curious, right? Except they're not, because they are downloading it and saving it and distributing it and coming back. They are dangerous. They are bad people. It goes on to say, a more recent trend is offenders using their communities to discuss, track, and follow victims of CSAM. So people they don't even know, just people that they have seen through this child sexual abuse material. As they grow up, offenders try to find photographs of the victims online or on social media and work together to hunt these children long after the hands-on abuse has ended. They have successfully identified and reached out to victims, including one instance of an offender locating a victim from a well-known CSAM series and sending a box of sexual objects to her front door. A survivor says, I have a constant fear of being recognized and worry about my safety and privacy. People who have viewed these images of me being sexually abused online have stalked me. This stalking has happened both in person and online through social media. They have started forums and created videos about my life as an adult and have shared my personal information. And this is a very real thing. This is a very real problem. I myself have experienced this. Now, thankfully, to my knowledge, I have not been stalked by somebody who has viewed content of me. And I have not been stalked by a random person online, thankfully, so far that I'm aware of. However, my own abusers, I mean, a lot of you, hundreds of thousands of you, were front and center for that train wreck of a season in my life, right? Where I couldn't do anything. I couldn't breathe without them finding my videos. It didn't matter how many times I blocked them and just harassing me, making me just want to not be here anymore because of this, what I'm doing. They called the police on me, lied to the police, told the police that I was going to do some egregious acts, and had the police come to my front door. to try to intimidate me into silence. I mean, I had to go through the legal process of getting a restraining order against them. And even that was hard to do because they fought the restraining order. They fought to have the right to continue to harass me. And guys, I was lucky that the judge said yes. And the judge only said yes for 6 months. They don't care about us. The justice system does not care about us. We are a nuisance to them because they actually have to do their job. They actually have to work. Oh, fine, I'll give you your protective order. Yes, I see all these instances where they're threatening to harm you and your family and X, Y, and Z. Fine, I'll give it to you. Like, it's really disheartening. And honestly, that's a huge fear of mine, is that my abusers will start to abuse me again. And then I have to go through the entire process again, or I just have to deal with it and hope that they don't escalate into something like physical again. And the stalking is not even just something parents should fear if you have a child in your home that has been sexually abused and that material has been distributed. No, like if you're just a parent who's a good parent and you post your kids online, like that's also a fear you should have, because that's also something that happens. You don't have to, like I said earlier, this content does not need to be vulgar and gruesome and super explicit to be something that they like. They like kids. You and your 300 followers or your 30 followers or your 30,000 followers, you don't know every single person that's following you. You don't know every person you went to high school with. You don't actually know every person in your family. And so every single time you are posting your child publicly, there could just be one person in that 30, 300, 30,000, whatever it is, just one person who really likes your child. And the only reason they're following you, liking your stuff and supporting you, giving you hearts and saying you're doing great, is because they're trying to figure out, where are you? How can I get access to this little girl? How can I gain the parents' trust? Or how can I snatch her up? Or how can I just keep them posting, whatever they need? This can happen to you. If your child's image is online, you're putting them at risk of this in any capacity. And that's also the same when it comes to just kids being on the internet in general. I mean, look at everything that's going on with Roblox. Okay. I mean, any internet space, you need to be honest with your kids. You need to be having these conversations with your kids. And I can't tell you how to have those conversations with your kids because every individual child is different. And I don't know your child. I swear all three of mine are three completely different beings. Okay. You have to figure out, what am I as a parent? Why am I so uncomfortable talking to my child about this, but I'm comfortable giving them access to something I can't even mouth? You need to be having conversations with your kids about this, and you need to be making sure that you're not telling them that you're a safe place to go to if something happens, that you're showing them that you are a safe place. That when they see something, because it's not a matter of if they see something that they shouldn't, or something that's confusing them or scaring them, it's a matter of when. It's a matter of when, because if they don't stumble upon it on their own, somebody else might show it to them. They need to know that they can come to you and you are a safe place to be able to help them unpack that and figure out, well, what was that? Why was it wrong for me to see that? Why was it wrong in general? For them to process something that has troubled them. Play Roblox with your kids. Play Minecraft with your kids. Get interested in technology, because kids are the best at technology. So many parents are like, oh, I'm just not tech savvy. Let me ask my kid. That's a problem. That's a problem. And I'm not even saying it's a problem because, oh, your kid's going to sneak around all of your parental blah, blah, blah. I don't care about that. It's a problem because you are not able to protect them then. If they're not going to teach you everything and you don't know, how can you protect them? Get involved in your kid's life. Live a second childhood. I swear, that's what I'm doing. I swear that's what I'm doing. Yes, I'm mothering. Okay, guys? I'm not raising little freaking jerks who have no integrity and are jerks. Okay? I am mothering, but I'm also reliving a childhood with them. I'm playing the games they are playing. I am having the tea parties. I am building the best sandcastle and I'm going to win. Okay. Get involved in your kids' lives. Stop being stuck in adulthood. Okay. Go dunk your head in water or something. Do something crazy. Go throw an egg at the wall. Do something that reminds you that you are still a human. Okay. You're not just this functioning robot adult. Pay my bills, clean my house, do my laundry. You are a human being. And you used to like those things. You probably still will now. Okay, just give it a try. Just try to be a kid with your kids. And now that you're an adult, when you are a kid with your kids, you're going to be able to clock the things that you couldn't clock when you were a kid. And you're going to be able to let them just be a kid without that confusion and without that fear. The article goes on to say, there are limited legal options to hold those online providers accountable who play a role in facilitating online child exploitation and offenses. I just bit my tongue. And offenses, like the back of my tongue. That was so weird. Either for direct action, such as hosting CSAM, or indirect action, such as distributing applications with functions that enable predators to exploit children. So this is talking like Roblox, like Instagram, like Snapchat, like TikTok. Hello. As currently written and interpreted by courts, Section 230 gives online providers immunity. It gives those platforms immunity from civil action and state and local criminal actions for material on their platform created by a third party. The sole exception to this blanket immunity, discussed in more detail below, is for conduct related to sex trafficking and the intentional facilitation of prostitution, but not for distribution of child sexual abuse material. Roblox isn't accountable. Instagram, we don't know anything about that. That's not our fault. Oh well, not our fault. It is only when a child is literally going to be taken from point A to point B, or physically sold to somebody else. If the talking about it and the money transferring and all that stuff happen on their platform, then they can be held responsible, but not for the videos depicting that same abuse. In this regard, victims depicted in CSAM do not have the same remedies as victims of sex trafficking. We are not given the same justice because the justice system does not see it really as a problem. Right? The justice system, I feel like, views it the same way as like the kind of people that I was talking about earlier, where it's like, well, if you aren't aware of it, if you cannot tell me exactly the name and last name of every single person who has seen it and sold it, then I'm not understanding how this is harming you. They refuse to see that. Like, I keep saying in my lifetime, I'm going to see a great change, and I'm going to keep believing that. But sometimes, guys, I really question and wonder, because it really feels like nothing is changing within the legal system to do anything about this problem. And every year the problem continues to double, triple, quadruple, quintuple. I don't know, but it keeps getting worse. And it's not like it's just getting a little worse. It's like getting a lot worse, and then a lot worse, and then a lot worse. And for those of us who are victims of this, sorry, they're allowed to just share this and the links and stuff on Discord and on Instagram and on TikTok, and they are not held responsible to stop it, but I can't criticize them or my videos taken down. I literally had somebody comment like on my TikTok this week. I was talking about the move and how excited I was, because I'm a CSA survivor, and they're like, well, I'll just show you. I hope you don't read this comment before you hear my trigger warning. Trigger warning. CSA stands for child sexual abuse. In no world is a child a fleshlight that has served its purpose when they are being sexually abused. When I get comments like this that minimize the things that I have survived, it tells me one of two things. Either one, this is a fellow survivor who has not processed or healed from their trauma, or two, it's people just like my family, bro. It is people who literally view children as sexual beings, who think that children can consent, who think that children can come on to adults, who think that children can ask for it. In my personal experience, in all of the years that I've been online sharing my story and advocating and stuff, that is what I have found. It is somebody who has experienced child abuse and child sexual abuse and just cannot face it. Therefore, they try to minimize what everybody else went through. Or specifically in cases like this, I think that you just might be one of them. Children cannot be a fleshlight. And if you think that they can be, I have some ideas for people like that. Like, that's what they said. And then they left this comment afterwards. So yeah, you know what I did? I did what I told you guys to do as well. I reported them to the FBI and the cyber tip line, because what do you mean? What do you mean? So what have we learned today? That this is absolutely, yes, happening on TikTok. Exactly what everyone is suspecting and thinking. Yes, that is what it is. And no, really, there's not much we can do about it. You can report it to TikTok and they're not like really actually required to do anything about it, right? They don't have to do anything. They don't have to take it down. There's no repercussions for them letting that video stay up, right? So please, now we know. Report to the cyber tip line, which I will have linked down below. Report to the FBI, which I will have linked down below. Keep your kids offline, because AI can do anything the user wants it to. And be friends with your kids, dude. Be their friend and their parent, but like understand what's going on in their life. Understand how to use their phone. Understand their games. Be interested in your kids. I can't even believe that. That feels like a controversial thing to say. It's like, be friends with your kids, be interested in your kids, spend time with your kids. Like, why is that? That should just be something that we're doing, I think, as parents. And yeah, just keep your kids offline. Okay? And again, the most important takeaway from this video is that we need law change. Like a lot of law change, but it's like, where do we start? Who do we start with? It feels like such a huge problem, but little by little, guys, we keep on talking about it. We keep on demanding change. We keep on demanding more accountability, and eventually, I believe, we will get it. So I really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this video today. I hope you guys like our new little setup here, because I think this is where I'm going to be doing my videos. My nose keeps itching right here, so just ignore me. I'm like trying not to like itch it. I'm just trying to like tap it, but it is like itchy right in my crack of my nose. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening to me read you guys this article. I really, really, really highly recommend you guys go read the full thing for yourself. I did not read the entire thing. I tried to read like the highlights of each section. And yeah, I guess I will talk to you guys this Saturday. If you liked this video, don't forget to like this video and don't forget to subscribe to become a fellow concerned friend officially, and let me know your guys' thoughts down below in the comments. And don't forget to make reports as soon as you see something, but to also keep yourself safe first. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys. Thank you guys for the support. I just really have, I think, the greatest community ever. Sorry to all the other YouTubers. My community is the best. I'll see you guys on the next one.